Welcome back everybody, this is Fox, another Anno 1800 tips video. Today we're going to be talking about how to min-max fans. By min-max I mean we want the maximum amount of production using the least amount of space and or workforce. New world priority is space for me, so I need to get the most amount of production out of each tile per possible, so the biggest amount of boost possible. Now we're going to start at the fan factory and work back. So fans, this is obviously comes with the last DLC, New World Rising. It is a need for investors. It's a lifestyle need for investors. Fans. You can see at the minute I need, across all islands, 371. I am producing 620 tons a minute, or I will be when they're flat out. The main reason is they're stalling because the island storage that I chose, the island that I chose to make these on only has a storage of 2,400, but I've stress tested this for quite a while and they can keep up. So yeah, fans, they need motors and aluminium profiles. Both of these are new to the DLC as well. First thing we're going to look at is aluminium profiles. Actually, let's talk about the items first for the fan production itself. So these can utilize some very, very good items that we already had in play. So we've got Bruno. If you've been watching any of my videos, you know that Bruno is king. You get advanced weapons at a rate of 1/3, steam motors at a rate of 1/3, and we get productivity boost of 50%. Also, we can use Professor Ramdevi. He's probably another one of the best items in the game. He gives a plethora of different goods. You get pocket watches, spectacles, penny farthings, steam carriages, and sewing machines. Granted, they do produce at a slow rate, but when you've got 200 or so on an island like this, you are making quite a lot of each one. We're making 44 spectacles, 207 steam advanced weapons a minute. These advanced weapons should be being shipped off to Crown Falls. They are. Sorry, I was just checking. It's been a long time since I came back and visited this island. So yeah, we're making spectacles, advanced weapons, 40 tons of penny farthings, 207 tons of steam motors, 40 tons of pocket watches. So yeah, loads of stuff. 36 tons of steam carriages. Just to put this into perspective, a large island in the old world and its partnering small island needs 16. So this is probably going to be enough steam carriages for Crown Falls. I will ship these straight to Crown Falls. I haven't yet. I'm hoping this will be enough to supply Crown Falls. So yeah, then we've simply got a ferrous at the end. You can't clip these, although they are a 6x6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For some reason, the center of this building is not center, so they cannot be clipped. Now, we are due another update. Whether they'll address this and make it possible to clip these, I do not know. If in the future you are watching this video and you try to clip it and it can be clipped, definitely clip them. The amount of extra goods you get from Bruno and Professor Ramdevi is ridiculous. You'll be able to use those to trade for everything else that you need in the entire save, pretty much. So yeah, for now we can't clip them. The good thing about using Professor Ramdevi in a trade union is that he provides electricity, so you don't have to worry about power plants and snaking tracks across everywhere. I do have a power plant on this island because it is running a bauxite mine, which we'll get to in a bit. So yes, Professor Ramdevi, Bruno Ironbright, and a ferrous. 3 massive, massive items. 50% boost from each. These flat out are at 300 and 400%, I think. 1, 2, 3, 400% flat out. You don't need electricity on the island, even better. So, aluminium profiles. I am making my aluminium profiles on Manola. A lot. Now, this is where it starts to get interesting. The items I've got in here for this, I've got bechamel converter. This is 60% productivity minus 50% workforce. The workforce for these is obreros. So the less obreros we have in the save equals more artistas. So this item is a must. It gives the biggest boost and reduces the workforce by 50. Next one is a ferrous. Flat 50% boost minus 10% workforce. So they're already working at 40% workforce. We've then got this one, which is Lord, Footprints, Gargantua, and Smokestack Act. Plus 55% productivity and plus 60% attractiveness. Now this 60% attractiveness for me was big because you need attractiveness on Manola to enable you to get certain boost from the Hacienda. Now you see, the Hacienda permit, this loading speed boost is a must for Manola. So if you are making your aluminium profiles on Manola, then I suggest that you use that item because it gives the attractiveness. You need the attractiveness on the island to unload the permits. Population, I can't remember. There was a reason. These are attractiveness based, are they? Well, no, they're population based. Oh, I can't remember. God. Somebody correct me. There was a reason why I needed the attractiveness on Manola. I'm sure somebody will let me know. I'm pretty sure it's for that reason that I just stated there. But yes, anywho. Aluminium profiles. Bechamel, footprint, ferrous al cerami. Now, there isn't actually a better item than these. Aluminium smelter. There's this island that came with a DLC. Combustion chemist. Affects furnace, aluminium smelter, and furnace. It gives you a 25% productivity, which is not good, but you get an extra goods back at a rate of 1/2. So every other cycle, you get an aluminium profiles back. This is a very, very good item. I may well change some of these up when I get to the end of the save, if I have any gas left, and then use this. For the way I've designed this save so far, I'm using all the gas, or will be using all the gas for my small islands, so I don't have the luxury of having it spare. If you're not doing such a big project of me, and you have gas spare, then I'll suggest you use it for this purpose. Save you no end of space. I would be able to split the amount of aluminium smelters by 1/3. And I've got 228. So I'll be able to split this down to 152. It would save no end of space. I would probably be able to get rid of these up here. So yes, if you have the space, if you have the gas spare, use that item. I would swap him out for a ferrous because these are the two give a better boost. Yeah, save some space. As I said, for this save, I am using the gas elsewhere. So then these need bauxite and coal. The coal is simply being traded for. How am I trading for this? I'm using the arbitrage system. See my last video, there'll be a link if you want to watch it. Generating steam carriages for free and then trading for the coal. Some of the coal is actually being made on islands where I'm utilising the mines to generate oil, but the rest is being traded for and then shipped over here. Bauxite. Every single bauxite in Manola is being utilised, and we are using exactly the same items in all of them. And that is Jorg von Mauching, 70% boost, gives oil and gold, ferrous, and then a sapper. This is the 3 biggest boosts that you can get for any mine. Bauxite is a limiting factor if you are pushing a save this far. There is a way to get bauxite apart from these, and that is by clay pits. So every clay pit in Manola I am also making bauxite from as well. This item, Stephen McLeod, Geological Surveyor. He affects all clay pits, all saltpeter works, sand mine, limestone quarry, clay collector, and bauxite mine. He gives pearls and gold. Then for the clay pit, the main one, I mean, you want to get the production as high as possible for the clay pits, so they're churning out the bauxite better. So I'm using Stephen McLeod and a ferrous. Third item is this one, the mineralogist. He decreases the productivity by 15%, increases the workforce needed and the maintenance cost, but we're getting bauxite at a rate of 1/3. So every 3rd cycle we're getting bauxite. It's not, you don't generate an awful lot from these clay pits, but it all adds up. I'm making 20 tons of clay and it's generating me 7 tons of bauxite. So if when you've used all the bauxite mines in the New World you still need more, then you're going to have to utilise the bauxite, the clay pits in the New World, and this can also be done in the Old World. Clay pits, mineralogist, get your bauxite from here. You have to dump the clay to get it working. Obviously, make sure that the clay is being dumped so that the bauxite can flow. Generate your bauxite that way. So that is aluminium profiles done. Then you simply need to ship them, obviously, to the island where you're making your fans. And then you put the aluminium in and make the fans. The next thing is motors. I've dedicated 2 islands to making motors because I wanted to clip them. The main reason I wanted to clip them is because of the huge boost you can get by doing so. I'm using Bruno Ironbright. Again, clipping these generates more steam carriages and advanced weapons than what you would get from a penny farthing factory. They're massive. They're ridiculous. Look at this island alone. This is generating me 207 tons of steam 207 tons of both advanced weapons and steam carriages a minute. And I've got 2 islands of these. This one's generating 184. So yeah, altogether, these 2 islands are generating me motors 1 and 2. We are making 590-ish motors a minute. You can see we need 620. We need 636. I'm producing 627. The reason for that is because I have a small production over here on Manola, and I do need to expand it slightly. So I will be fitting another one in here, probably another clipped one, just to get that up to the figure that we need. Yeah, the motors. These need cable. This is going to be quite a long video because there's so much involved. These need cable. Now, cable I'm producing on Manola, and I'm also producing on this island here. Cable is a pain in the ass. They're massive factories. They can't be clipped. The items are crap. So for that reason, we are getting them to 0 workforce. We're using the generic 0 workforce items. Again, if you've seen any of my videos, I'm sure you're aware of this combination. Printing press, plus 25 productivity, minus 40% workforce. The bell gives you a flat minus 50, and then the ferrous gives you the other minus 10 to get them at 0 workforce. So these work, I mean, they're at 325% when they're electrified, because obviously you can now electrify the new world. And they're at 0 workforce. Cable, nothing special. The steam, the advanced weapons and steam motors that we are generating from these motors, these are going to Crown Falls, and they're being used to trade for everything. Anything that needs to be traded for is pretty much being traded for using advanced weapons and steam motors that are coming from these, and also the fan factories themselves that we looked at earlier on. So yeah, ship these steam carriages off to the old world in the Cape, and then trade them for the electric cables. These need copper and caoutchouc. Copper, caoutchouc. It's being traded for in various docklands. 4 or 5 little islands are trading for the maximum storage each, shipping it over here, and then it's being used to make the cables. We are also doing the same for the steel that these motor assembly plants need. This is all being traded for. If you can look, if I go to motors motors 2. Motor 2. What? Ignore me. Motors 2 steel. You can see the steel is coming for 2 islands. I'm trading for 235 on one and 60 on another. Motors 2. Yeah, and then the cable is very similar. Cable 1 copper. It says we need 29, but we don't, because I've sorted that out now. This is all being shipped. This is actually being produced on islands in the old world and then shipped over here. But what we can't actually physically make on the islands, we are using the advanced weapons to trade for and then shipping it back to the new world. So the only thing we need to cover is celluloid, which is one of the biggest pains in the ass in the whole game. Again, clipped. You need to clip your celluloid. I can't stress how important this is. Clipping celluloid, you've got to do it. The main reason is the extra goods that we're getting from Salvador Stewart are free. So we're getting extra goods every 3rd cycle. Now, if you don't clip, you're getting 2 of these affected, obviously, if you clip them. So it's getting 2 Salvador Stewarts, 2 double redundancies. If you don't clip these, you ultimately need more input goods to generate the same amount. And the input goods for celluloid are crap. Ethanol, it's got to be made, we can't trade for it. Camphor, it's got to be made, we can't trade for it. Cotton, it's got to be made, we can't trade for it. So if there's anything you're going to clip in this save, it's going to be celluloid, because it saves so much space. We would need roughly 1/3 again of all of these input goods if we didn't clip them for the same amount of factories. Well, you would need more factories as well, but then you would need more goods again. And these need an awful lot of stuff. This island needs 544 tons of cotton. it needs 544 tons of ethanol, and it needs 544 tons of camphor wax. Now the camphor wax is nothing special. This is the same as what we covered in the mezcal video in regards to the citrus. They're clipped. This is all camphor. It's clipped using tropical podologist, get rich quick volume 1 and hand pollination method. We're utilising the specialist lumberjack training effect, hacienda boost, and also bronze age exhibition. And obviously we need the dung because we're using the podologist. The dung is being made in Embessa. Again, check my earlier video, the one that I've done a couple of weeks back, about how to min-max mezcal. I go over the orchards in a bit more detail over there. But it's really straightforward. Clip them, use these 3 items, get the dung over here from Embessa or wherever you want to make your dung. You can generate an awful lot of goods on one island. This is making me camphor. This is making me 687 tons of camphor. This is actually a lot more than what we need. For now, it's going to stay like this. I probably will be petering this down and making some more citrus towards the end of this save, and then using it to make some biscuits. As you can see, we're at 13.9 million. We're getting really close to the end of this save now. So yeah, celluloid, camphor is easy. The ethanol, I'm going to cover this in a later video, but suffice to say I'm not clipping the ethanol. I didn't have enough clipping points generated. We're just quickly going to go over the items again. It's Salvador Stewart and double redundancy, so quite a big boost. These are not clipped. I did not have enough room to clip all the ethanol, so I decided to not clip them. Main reason being is the 2 input goods for these you can trade for, so it doesn't really matter. I'm not using up any more space by not clipping them, apart from the fact that I need a few more ethanol factories. The wood and the corn is being dealt with the same way as the steel and the other stuff that we already spoke about, the caoutchouc and the copper. The steam motors and the advanced weapons are being shipped from the motor factories to Crown Falls and the old world, and then we're using them to trade for those goods and bringing it back over here. So the ethanol is pretty straightforward. The last thing is cotton. Now I chose to make my cotton in Embessa because Embessa is a dead space for me. Once I'd made all the dung that I needed via the Sangha cows, again we're going to be going over this in another video, I had a few islands left to make some cotton. So this one is dedicated to making me cotton. They are clipped again. One's a woodcutters. Being clipped with Miss Rodriguez, the conservationist. This is the one that gives us the cotton, so we're getting it once every 4th cycle. When they're clipped, it's once every other cycle, so every half measure. We're then using Ursula. She gives a 50% boost and increases the forest density, or it increases the forest density bonus but decreases the number of trees you need. We're then using the Teutonic Technical Secateurs, same thing. This is 30% forest density boost, so these only need 1 or 2 tiles to reach maximum efficiency. I can't remember exactly. 3. This is how many trees they have access to. It might even be 1, I'm not too sure. So yeah, we are generating cotton on pretty much every island clipped amongst the population. This one, I did need to boost the cotton when we'd finished clipping it, so I had a few over here unclipped. This island is dedicated to full clip cotton. You can see all of the other islands where we've got population have clipped ones of woodcutters in between. Virtually every island has ones of woodcutters clipped in amongst the population where possible. Yeah, so we're generating all of the cotton that we needed in Embessa. It's quite easy actually. I had to dedicate 2 islands to it solely, and then the other islands were just clipped in amongst the population. Because we didn't need the trade union, we couldn't use the trade unions for anything else because we'd utilised all of the canals and we'd used all of the actual fertile land to make our Sangha cows, our dung, our milk and our herbs. So yeah, is that it? Cotton's coming from Embessa. Camphore's being clipped in the New World. Ethanol is being made the traditional way. You can make this from goats and other things like that. We are generating quite a bit of ethanol from elsewhere across the save. You can see we're making it from ethanol. Obviously on the ethanol island we're making it from ice cream. We're making it from medicine. We're making it from cinnamon coconuts. We'll check that island. I can't remember what that will be. Large 2. Mezcal is making us ethanol as well. Cinnamon coconut. This must be the medicine. So yeah, we've got the Get Rich Quick Volume 4. So we're making ethanol from our medicine. We're making it from our mezcal. You can see it pops up. We're making it from our ice cream. There's loads of spaces where you can use that book. The item is Get Rich. So it affects all chemical plants. This is including the New World ones and the Old World ones. It affects lemonade, chemical plant chewing gum, artisan workshop, cognac, all drinks production. So you can make it, if you were making coffee, you can make it from coffee, you can make it from beer, you can make it from mezcal, which is where I'm making mine from. You can make from Hacienda Fertilizer Works, Industrial Oil Press, Ice Cream Factory, and Laboratory Medicine. So, all in all, we're generating nearly half of the amount of ethanol we need across the whole save by the book. The rest is being made on this island. So, yeah, when those are all put together, you've obviously got your motors, which need the cable, celluloid, and the steel. You've then got your aluminium profiles. Simply ship them to your island where you're making your fans. You don't need to worry about electricity because Romdevi provides electricity to them. Should always put a Bruno in there because of the extra goods that you can then ship off and then trade for everything else you need. Bring it all back. Ferrous for the extra boost. So yeah, all in all, this island is making me 620 tons absolutely flat out, no stalling fans per minute. Perfect. Exactly what we want. I have just had to increase the number of ships bringing in the aluminium from Manola. I mean, it's only got to travel 2/3 across the map, and I've got about 12 ships bringing in this aluminium. It's crazy to keep up. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Great Easterns and 6 Zephyrs sharing the burden, bringing the aluminium profiles from Manola to here, so that they can parallel load at the piers here. Yeah, and then simply ship it to every single island in your world. And make sure that they all get fans. The old world is done in this save now. It's absolutely perfect. I was having a problem with this one island up here not keeping up. Mezcal we were struggling with a little while ago. I had to adjust some hibiscus. For some reason, my trade route for hibiscus from Mbessa, I had the hibiscus that was being made on Tambourine down as 390 and I was only making 330, so I was 60 hibiscus short. So I just had to swap out some items for dung production and yeah, increase the number of hibiscus. But that's for another video. Yeah, for now, we're nearly at 14 million. 20 million is in sight. The Cape is left to do. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. Yeah, if you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you join the Twitch for the finale of this save coming very soon when we actually hit the 20 million. And yeah, please join the Discord. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.